Hey everyone, Kelly here. Thanks for joining me. I am back with a new layout for Hip Kit Club. For my layout today, I am going to be using the November 2016 sketch designed by Tara. I'm not sure if it's up in the forum yet, but it should be very, very soon. I am going to start out with a Cricut Design Space tutorial. I am using one of the October cut files designed by Xenia, and just like with every other tutorial, I have inserted a shape, laid it on top of the cut file, and then I'm slicing out the portion of the cut file that I'm wanting to use. Then I'm going to come in with the contour feature just to clean up any of the areas that sliced out when I was removing this portion of the cut file. Okay, so now that that is complete, I am going to insert a square. I want to make the bottom portion of this cut file just a little bit thicker. So I'm going to unlock the square so that way I can turn it into more of a rectangle shape. And then I'm going to drag it along the whole length of the cut file. Then I am going to select the rectangle shape and the cut file, go over to the Layers tab and hit the Weld button. And now you can see that the base of the cut file is just a little bit thicker. So I knew that I wanted to tuck my photo behind this skyline. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to insert another square, and then I'm going to go over to the Edit tab and resize this square to 4x6. And that is roughly the size of the photo that I'm going to be using for my scrapbook layout. By having a visual reference, it'll be easier for me to size the cut file so I know I'm making it the appropriate dimension for my layout. So I'm going to shrink this down a little bit, and then I know that I want the cut file to go the whole length of the photo, but if I make it too large, it's going to cover up too much of my photo. So what I'm going to do is I am going to copy and paste this cut file, and then I'm going to weld the two images together to make it the whole length of the photo. So I've hit the copy and paste button, and I now have two of these images on the design screen, but I want them to mirror each other so that way it looks a little bit more symmetrical on my layout. So I went to the Edit tab and just selected the mirror button, and now you can see that it has flipped the cut file. So now the left side of the cut file matches the right side of the other cut file. I had measured my photo, so I knew how long I needed this skyline to be. So I'm just using the grid line and the ruler at the top of the page to line this skyline up with each other. And then once I have them lined up, I am going to select both of those images, go back over to the Layers tab and hit the Weld button, and then it will make it one continuous image. So I did a lot of playing off camera, and I already have a couple pieces of pattern paper down on this American Crafts fountain cardstock that is in the October 2016 cardstock kit. And now I am using my Close to My Heart stitch guide to poke some holes in the paper so that way I can go around and do some hand stitching. There I was showing you which pattern paper those two diagonal pieces came from. It's from one of the Maggie Holmes Gather collection pattern papers. I did use the pattern paper that was included in the main kit and then also the paper add-on because I wanted the two diagonal pieces to match each other. So I wanted to add some mixed media to the layout, but I wasn't sure what color would look good on this blue cardstock. So I've flipped the paper over and I'm just doing some practicing on the back side of the cardstock to see which colors are going to work best. That triangle stencil is from the June 2016 color kit, and then I did test out the Sponge Sugar Shimmers Texture Paste. That was from the May 2016 kit, and then I did test out the Crushed Coral Textures, and then I've added some white gesso, and now I'm going to come in with the Grapefruit Creamies, and the Grapefruit Creamies is from the September 2016 kits. The Crushed Coral Textures is from the October kits, and for this layout I use everything from the October 2016 kits other than the mixed media products. Okay, so here I'm showing you the cut file, and I'm showing you that I just used my scissors to cut out certain areas of the cut file just to help my photo fit a little bit better back behind the cut file image. Here I'm showing you that I have added the hand stitching using white embroidery floss just around the perimeter of those two diagonal pieces. So this is the photo that I'm going to be using for my layout today. It is of Aiden and myself taken at Navy Pier this past summer when we went to Chicago. And I'll share a little bit more on that a little later in the video. So I've already assembled my photo mat, and it has a navy blue cardstock from the cardstock kit, and then a couple of the pattern papers from the Maggie Holmes Gather collection. And then I have just tucked my photo right behind the cut file image. So before I go any further, I need to get my mixed media onto this cardstock background. So I have just used a scrap piece of white cardstock to mask off the diagonal pattern paper. And then I have used some washi tape to tape down the stencil. And now I'm coming in with that spun sugar texture paste and applying it directly onto the cardstock. Again, that spun sugar texture paste is from the May 2016 color kit, and the stencil is from the June 2016 color kit. So because of the hand stitching on the layout, the stencil didn't lay completely flat against the cardstock. So when I put the texture paste through the stencil, it didn't go through as crisp and clean as I would have liked. So I'm just coming in with a Q-tip and just trying to wipe any areas that need a little bit of smoothing and a little bit more definition. Some areas were a little smeared. So while I'm waiting on that to dry, I'm going to work on the layers behind my photo, and I'm just tucking in a couple of the Project Life cards just to add a little bit more visual interest behind the photo. I absolutely love this cut file. I knew that I wanted to use it for some of our Chicago pictures from our trip this past summer, and we live fairly close to Chicago. It's just a short train ride from our area into the city, and it's not something that we do very often, but I always enjoy it when we go. And I keep telling Andy that we need to get back there more often. There's so much to do in the city, and Aiden really enjoyed this trip. It was just a short overnight trip. I don't have any journaling for this layout because it is just a picture of us at Navy Pier. I have a ton more photos that I will be scrapbooking that will have some journaling involved with them on what we did while we were there. All right, so the mixed media is dry, so I am going to start adhering things down. I put my photo mat down first, and then I'm going to be bringing in some clusters of embellishments, mainly on the bottom right and the top left portion of the cut file image and the photo. That feather was fussy cut from one of the Project Life cards, and then that chipboard camera piece is from the Simple Stories Posh collection, and that is included in the embellishment kit. I am adding my title using some Simple Stories alpha stickers that are included in the Project Life kit, and it's just going to be Navy Pier for my title. Once I have those positioned, I am going to bring in a wood veneer piece from the We Are Memory Keepers Honey I'm Home collection, and those wood veneer pieces are included in the main kit. I wanted to add a little bit more interest behind that wood veneer piece, so I'm going to bring in this floral sticker from the Simple Stories Posh collection and just tuck it right behind the wood veneer. There was quite a bit of dimension with my photo mat, so I am going to use some pop dots just on the right hand portion of that camera just to make it even with the photo mat. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this globe sticker, and that is from the Simple Stories Posh collection also. I felt like that globe sticker looked like it was floating a little bit and needed to be a little bit grounded. So before I adhere that down, I am going to come in with my date stamp and just add the date right next to the title. And I feel like that helps give the globe just a little bit of grounding so it doesn't look like it's floating since it's positioned right on top of the date. Someone had commented on a previous video that I had posted on Facebook that they laughed when they saw that I had removed the tip from my fine line bottle. I finally gave up on that tip. It was clogged each and every time I used it. I was having to unclog it every single time. So I just took the tip off, and I just am going to use up what's remaining in the bottle. And then I don't think I'm going to invest in a new one. I would love for it to work, but it just hasn't happened for me. So while I was rambling about my fine line bottle, I did add a couple more embellishments to the layout. I have added this chipboard arrow from the Simple Stories Posh collection, and then I also tucked in a chipboard floral right next to the globe on the right hand side. I'm going to add a heart puffy sticker from the We Are Memory Keepers Honey I'm Home collection that is included in the embellishment kit, and then I do add another heart sticker from the same collection that is included in the Project Life kit. Now I'm just going to make sure that everything is adhered down, especially those fine ends on the cut file. I want to make sure that those aren't going to get bent or torn. And then that is pretty much going to wrap things up. So in just a moment, I am going to leave you with some still shots. If you have any questions about how to use the cut files in Cricut Design Space or any of the products or the techniques that I used, please feel free to leave a comment below. I will be back again very soon with a new process video and a new layout. As always, thank you so much for watching.